5, 7, 1, 2, 3.
Hi, this is Pods and Ends, the junk drawer of pop culture and geek podcasts.
Hello, and welcome to episode 13 of Pods and Ends. Fortunately, we're not superstitious here, and we are all present for this episode. We could have done a thing that like hotels do where they just don't have a floor 13, but
yeah, but I mean that just means 14 is 13. That's not really fooling anyone.
Exactly. So Brian's with me today,
Obviously.
and
Shelby!
And I'm Phil.
Yes!
that sounded a lot like Arthur Shelby, that did. Phil's here. By order of the Peaky Blinders.
We're gonna have to watch this.
I know, we really do.
Gonna be a fun episode, guys. Because today we're talking about a franchise that's several millennia old. It's not really, it's been like from the 90s, but the things in it are really, really old. Because we're going to be talking all about the Jurassic Park franchise. So prepare yourself for lots of attempts at the theme tune.
God bless John Williams.
Right?
I honestly thought
Phil
you were
really
Game of
likes
Thrones
to
for a
sing.
minute there.
I could do dinosaur noises.
That was a good opportunity to do that.
We're gonna have to
They
do
make
our
a
best
sound that
dinosaur
I
voices.
interpret to be.
Wow.
That sounds like a chocobo.
It did.
People are gonna listen to this for the first time and be like,
Who
who are these people? Wow. Where are we? What did we stumble into?
Yeah, so welcome to Pods and Ends, everybody.
Yeah.
What other segments do we have?
Yeah. So before we dive into the main event, let's head over to our usual segments. First up, it's Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chill.
I'll start with the one that we're all just fresh from watching, which is the Fruits Basket trailers have dropped over the last couple of weeks. For any anime fans out there, go check out our anime episode. Hashtag shameless self-promotion. But the Fruits Basket anime is being like, what would you say, remade?
It's remade.
Yeah, which is, I mean,
Not a continuation.
Kind of out of the ordinary, too. You usually don't see anime get redone.
Well, Sailor Moon Crystal was a remake.
That's true. Good call. I kind of forgot about that because I didn't care.
Wow. Okay. Rude.
No, but still, I mean, that's one example out of hundreds of thousands of anime.
Right.
So.
I'm just saying it's not unprecedented.
Right. I'm surprised they haven't restarted Dragon Ball again.
Oh my gosh.
Just do the abridged
Bleach.
and you're fine.
Bleach, yeah. I would watch the first season of that again, but it kind of goes downhill fast after that.
But I'm really excited for Fruits Basket being remade because we were left hanging in the balance with it.
Yeah.
And now we get another go at this really amazing series.
Yeah, because I was buying the manga a few years ago, and I had no idea. There's like 23 books. There is so much that happens afterwards that just didn't get touched on. The anime only covers the first like 5 books, I think, or something like that. You know, it's really not very much in comparison. So it's going to be really exciting. There's a lot there. Phil's got a really excited face on. I can see you're hyped for this news.
What is Fruits Basket?
Oh,
I like it. I've got a fruit basket at work with apples, bananas, and oranges.
What it is there's this
And
family.
I love the apples.
No, there's a family and they're all signs of the zodiac, and when they're touched by a member of the opposite sex, they turn into that sign. So cue lots of like hilarity of like bumping into a girl, and then it's like, whoops, I'm a horse.
Oh, wow.
I feel like you really
I think the
didn't
horse
do
was
that
woman.
justice, so
I think that's perfectly explaining the plot.
That could be my new thing now. Poorly explaining plots.
Yes, please do.
But no, and there's a girl at the middle of it who's sort of like, she's an ordinary girl, but it's this extraordinary circumstances, and it is just adorable, and it's a really complex family. Oh, and there's a cat! Because little known fact that there should have been a cat in the Zodiac, but the rat betrayed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he's quite grumpy, and he was my little avatar for a long time, was the angry cat. So, we'll get excited for that here in the Lawrence household. Speaking of things that excite us in the Lawrence household...
Flat Earth.
Oh, that wasn't the one I was going for.
The flat Earth excites you.
So, there's a documentary on Netflix called
Beyond the Curve.
Beyond the Curve. And it's a documentary following some people who are flat earthers.
I didn't watch it. It stresses me out too much.
And it was very, very interesting. It's an hour and a half long. I would highly recommend a watch because it is just, it's kind of sad, but also hilarious. Because they do experiments at some points that just basically proves that the Earth is curved. And then they try and disprove that what they're doing is wrong and all sorts of stuff. And they have a conference and like 500 people turn up and it's just embarrassing. And and it's just amazing. It's just these deluded individuals that love conspiracy theories.
I don't know if I could do that as a scientist. I think it would really hurt my heart to see that many
Dumb people.
scientifically illiterate people, and thinking about all of the science teachers who really failed these grown children.
Thing is, it's definitely not a science. Like, it is a science thing, but like, it's not. It's a fame and popularity thing, isn't it? It's the I've got a YouTube channel that 1,500 people watched. Get me? I'm like semi-popular in my small circle.
Yeah, you know, like
my flat disc of people.
It's the classic case of I am YouTube/Twitter famous. I've had 500 retweets on this tweet, which means it must be the truth. How does that feel, Sophie, having 500 retweets?
Oh, well, it is quite a good feeling, yeah. You're right.
I wouldn't know because I'm not on social media.
Oh my god.
But that's the nice thing about this documentary is they actually have scientists come on it and discuss why these people are basically idiots. So,
okay.
If any of our people that listen to this podcast are flat earthers, you're wrong.
Yeah, just bugger off.
Wow, I didn't think that was that funny.
Just was funny hearing you say like a British swear word.
So, I would highly recommend watching it. It's worth a watch, and just to see idiots being funny. You know, I probably will watch it again at some point because I did enjoy it.
That's why people listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the new tagline. Just idiots being funny.
You're not here for the recommendations. You're here for the witty banter and the dumb jokes. We know.
Yeah. We see you.
We then watched the first episode of Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
We won't talk about it because we might talk about it later as an episode.
Yeah, because I don't think you guys have started it yet, have you?
We have not.
No.
But I'd class it as intriguing.
Yes.
A little bit slow, I thought, to start with, but I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah, there was enough there to pique my interest to go into episode 2.
And it's got Ellen Page.
Yeah, I love Ellen Page.
So that's always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the actor who plays Dickon Tarley in Game of Thrones, I was sat there for ages like, I know your face, I know your face, I know your face. And then it's like, oh, it's Dickon Tarley.
Did you bring this up just so you could say Dick on over and over again?
Yeah, pretty much. It's here in the show notes.
And then our final Netflix and chill,
which there's no chill about this at all. Absolutely none.
is by the order of the Pinky Blinders.
Oh, yeah.
So we finished 4 seasons, 6 episodes per season, hour long, no adverts because it's on Netflix and BBC. It's getting up there with level of Game of Thrones for me. It's that
wow.
good.
Is it done or is it still going?
No, they're currently filming the next season.
Season 5, isn't it? Is
Yeah.
being filmed now.
We're going to have to
Yeah.
get
It's
on this train.
just amazing.
Yeah. It's
Hearing
one of
Phil
those-
say anything is on the level of Game of Thrones immediately makes me want to watch it.
Same.
Yeah. It is like...
Like Love Actually's on the game.
Oh, good. Okay, never mind.
Do you guys realize what watching Love Actually on Netflix has done to our algorithm? It's not good.
Yeah.
It gives us documentaries about
Because you
cat
watch
ladies.
Love Actually, would you like to watch every British Bake Off show ever?
So, yeah, Pinky Blinders. So, yeah, edge of the seat stuff.
Yeah.
I can imagine it would have been very infuriating if we weren't able to binge it.
Yes.
Because every episode seems to
Cliffhanger.
have a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Shelby hates those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some nice twists and turns as well, which keeps you intrigued.
And
It's
you're
got a
like-
good
And
cast,
enough.
too. The people that are in it are pretty incredible.
Yeah, there's a really, really good cast. And, like, you're rooting for the bad guys, basically. Which is very similar, isn't it, with Game of Thrones? That there's a lot of bad people in it that you just
They're all
love
bad people.
because
Like
they're
they're,
bad. Yeah, they're all...
it doesn't matter who you root for in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You're rooting for the
They've
bad
managed
person.
they've managed to get the kind of cameos of actors of a good level
Oh, like Tom Hardy.
that are exceptional performers.
Yeah. Yeah, Tom Hardy literally, like, steals
One of the
every
best
scene.
characters in
Yeah.
television ever.
Wow.
Yeah, basically.
Just can't quote him. That's the only
That,
problem.
no, you can't really quote any of Peaky Blinders, to be honest.
No.
We've even edited out the by order of the Peaky Blinders. There's an extra word in there that we can't repeat. So,
Does it start with an
Yeah.
F in rhyme with
Yeah.
trucking?
yes.
I
does.
would. I can't believe we've never watched it
No.
before. It's taken us this long to watch it, but it was fabulous, and we finished it on Thursday, whatever. And
Yeah.
I could quite easily have gone back and started the first
Yeah.
episode again.
In fact, if you guys do watch it, we will probably watch
Yeah.
it with you
Okay.
as well.
Nice.
So that we could, yeah. But we will.
And it's nice because it is only 24 episodes, which you could actually, if you got up early enough, you could watch it in one day.
Just binge it over the
Just
entire
binge
day.
24 hours, yeah.
Yeah. But then you wouldn't know what's right and wrong anymore. You might just go out and, like, glass someone or something, won't
Yeah.
you? It's just
Exactly.
too immersed.
And yeah, the only problem is you will want to take up smoking and drinking whiskey.
Yeah. We did say that.
I
Our
already do one of
conversations-
those things, so.
Yeah. We were like, our conversations aren't intense enough. I think we should have this conversation holding cigarettes. And a glass of whiskey. Because they do just make
It does
look
glorify smoking, definitely.
cool. Well, no, I mean, it shows just how completely normal it was back then. Literally
Yeah.
second nature. Smoking in hospitals and stuff like that, wasn't it? You know?
Oh, it's just so amazing.
Yeah, it's really amazing. But we were saying...
And it's good character building, and there's good art, there's good arcs and everything. It's just, top class programming. BBC pulled it out of the bag.
Yeah.
They did.
They did.
Problem we've got now is we got Netflix, and we're like, well, we don't really know what to watch. Maybe Umbrella Academy's not going to live up to what we thought because we've just watched such fabulous seasons of Pinky Blinders.
Yeah, you just got to be, go with the flow. It's something different now.
Yeah.
And Umbrella Academy's very different to
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders.
So that's Netflix and chill for us.
Hmm. So next up then, shall we go into Off the Shelf? Turn off the television. In fact, why don't you turn off all the lights except for the one over your favourite chair? It's time for Off the Shelf.
Or True Beauty, as we like to call it.
True Beauty. Shelby, you've just finished the... you're up to date, yeah?
Yes, I'm up to date.
Oh my god!
She fancies the bad boy.
Well, I don't know. He fancies
He
her.
fancies her.
Definitely.
She was.
Sojin likes Jug Young.
She definitely liked it when he stood behind her on the train. Actually,
Well, I
big
mean,
tall Korean man protecting me from creepy small Korean man. He must love me.
Thing is, I'm really into Sojin until like Suho comes into it. Then I'm like, oh no, but Suho, and then it
I
just...
know. I don't know who I
I'm-
ship.
No, me neither.
He needs to man up.
What Suho?
Yeah, and just attack it. You know
Take what
But
he
he's-
wants.
exactly.
He's planting the seeds that will then cultivate and grow really deep roots with her, so it's not
Yeah.
just superficial.
So I loved the whole thing with Suho and Jugyeong when they were, when he said, you can come to, if you're down about anything, you must come and talk to me now. Like, that was just, but then at the same time, like, Sojin's so.
I say that to people at work. That doesn't mean I fancy them.
I know, but then he's like, "Can you help me buy some stuff for my sister?" And
I
he
know.
was so like,
He's so
oh,
nice
he was
to
so
his
sweet.
sister.
I didn't know what he was doing, and I just.
Is this the dangly earring guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't like him because of that reason alone.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Well.
Also, he looked really cute in that lip tint.
Yeah. His whole outfit. I'm not sure why the receipts were stapled to the outfit, but then
Yeah, I was
down with
very
the kids'
confused
fashion.
by that outfit, but I liked it. I wish
Yeah.
I wish I had places to wear outfits that were strange like that.
Mm.
You can wear it wherever you want to.
I mean, you could, but you could just be the weirdo.
I mean, you're with me, so you're kind of the weirdo no matter where you go.
Stop.
The only thing that did make me a bit sad was how they completely love the other girl, she's kind of not been in it much, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, like her figure's amazing," and I was like, "She doesn't. You're so much better than her, and you just don't see it." And she's that sort of completely unrealistic, unattainable figure.
But I also
But-
feel bad for her. Like,
Well, I think she's doing. I think that's where she's been this whole time. I think she's been off having plastic surgery and stuff, which I think we've been into, haven't we, previously?
I think Soph's probably going to buy the next 3 episodes because she's like that. Because she can't wait.
I've thought about it hardcore.
Yeah,
yeah.
Shelby's mentioned it more than once.
I'm nearly in there. Same with the BTS webtoon as well.
I need to start
which
that.
Actually, yes, you do.
The art on the BTS one is just so lovely, isn't it? Oh my goodness, it's beautiful.
Yes, it is, Phil. Thank you for bringing that up.
See, I do listen to you when you talk to me.
Thanks. So my final bit of webtoon related chat was I found another one which I think I haven't mentioned on this podcast, but one that I highly recommend, which is called Beyond the Tea Fields, and it is an absolutely beautiful, like the art in this, and the colours that she uses are so bright, and it is just stunning. I'm about 9 or 10 episodes in, and to be honest, I really know nothing other than this nameless boy is being pursued through a burning forest, and he's rescued by this mythical demon horse that's called a Quillin, I think. And he's wound up in this village where the villagers are trying to look after him, and he can't remember his name and he can't remember why he's being chased. But there's so much like kind of fables in it. There's like the monkey god, and then like the art of the monkey god it is just stunning. Just go and check it out. I haven't seen any tea fields yet. I'm not sure what that's in relation to, but it's quite a new webtoon. So it's just sort of just getting going. The artist actually leaves little comments down the bottom and stuff, which is quite nice as well. So yeah, that's been a new webtoon that I've been loving so far. So yeah, and that's the tea.
Field.
I'm really glad someone went there. Thanks, Brian.
I got it.
And my final bit of off the shelf this week is, in the space of less than 1 week, I have read the first Illuminae book by Anne. I'm going to say it's Kaufman. Could be Kaufman. Kaufman, you reckon? And Jay Kristoff, who I've heard of. I've heard of both of these authors, and they've joined forces. And you're essentially reading the Illuminae files. And Illuminae are kind of like
Illuminati.
space WikiLeaks, basically, where they've unearthed a load of like dirt, and it's 2 mega corporations that have fought, and one has just committed this massive atrocity on this planet, and it's kind of unearthing this attempt at a cover up, but it's written it's written as if you've been handed a file. So we've got interview transcripts of surveillance footage. The best part of this book was the recordings, sort of the data from inside the AI, because there's an AI that powers the main ship, and it got damaged in the battle, and it's sort of going crazy, which is absolutely my jam. Like, robots going slightly mad is like just a really cool storyline, and when you follow his thought processes and as he's going crazy, but then he kind of is like aware that he's going crazy, and he's aware that he's aware. It's just really, really cool. I've never read anything like this. I didn't think I'd be into it at first because I was like, but I like stories. But this was just completely unputdownable. So I highly, highly recommend.
Is that a word?
I think it is.
It is now.
Yes. I just made it one.
And you open it up and it's like, I think the hardback copy would be better because it's probably all in colour. Because the paperback that you got is all in black and white, but I think a colour copy of it would just be fantastic, don't you think so?
I think the hardback would be really cool.
Or you could get bits and you could pull them out and read them as
Well,
documents and stuff. Oh, that would be fantastic.
Thinking, we have a sort of associate, like a friend of a friend who makes Harry Potter books. Probably should have got his name, so I could have said it on this. But Alarm 18, definitely. And he recreates books from Harry Potter, and he writes in he'll handwrite them in the text, and he'll spill things on them, so they come out absolutely, and they go for thousands of pounds, don't they? His their replica Hogwarts history and stuff like that. Yeah, these are proper collectibles. It's not just I've had a crack at making a Harry Potter book. He's an actual proper person.
Wow.
And I feel like someone needs to create an Illuminae file which has got all the file dividers and inserts and paper clips and stuff like that in it. I think that would be absolutely incredible. So if someone really talented could get on and do that, that would be great.
It does sound like a cool concept. I like the idea that it's different, but also no, it doesn't sound like something I want to read.
Wow. Okay.
Reminds me of
it sounds really interesting, but there's no way I'm reading it.
No, the format. It's neat that they're doing something out of the ordinary, but at the same time, I don't like the sound of it. What was that zombie movie that Brad Pitt was in?
World War Z.
Yeah, isn't that what that is written in?
And
I
love that.
Different little snippets of perspectives and
It's
stuff.
kind of like short
know.
stories that tell you the bigger overarching story, because it's a compilation of interviews that was done for the government, and then they decided not to release it, but this is you get to read it.
Yeah. Wasn't Carrie written like that as well? I'm pretty sure Carrie it had newspaper articles in it and her diary and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I don't know, I find it's a really good way to build tension.
But there's no narrative at all in this, right?
Not really, no. The only narrative you kind of get is when someone's typed up surveillance footage. So
right. Well, what I mean is
goes,
Carrie has a narrative, but inserted into the narrative are snippets of this other stuff. Where this is just you get everything from the pieces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't know, man. I'd try it maybe, but
I think you should. Yeah.
I'm pretty old-fashioned and grumpy.
I spend my life looking at files and
Well, I did think
clips
that.
of information.
Yeah, I was thinking the same actually, but I don't know. That was quite a good. I don't know. I quite enjoyed it.
It sounds like she got a taste of your life, Phil, and she loved it.
Yeah. Well, I do live the best life.
But you don't have a mad robot trying to kill everybody.
No, but I do have mad staff, so.
Yeah. You can probably relate to the AI more then. So I think that wraps up Off the Shelf, which means we need to head into What's Your Jam?
Far out, man. What's your jam?
Which I think is you, Shelby, this week.
All right, Sherbly.
It is. It's me this week. I am all about Space Cadet by Metro Boomin, featuring
Gunna.
Is this more rap?
Yes. That's basically all. Shelby is a hip hop machine now.
I can't help it. It's really good. But I don't know what it is about this song. It's just really, really catchy.
Yeah, it has a really simple.
It sounds very techno, very, I don't know, I guess space cadet.
Spacey, yeah. It sounds like, honestly, what something in the
now
70s
I'm a space cadet.
would have made to
Big
sound
white
like it was
mansion
spacey.
Is my habitat. I mean, I don't know. I feel like those are the lyrics of the gods, but I'm kidding. But also not kidding.
Gods.
Space Gods. It's really good. I don't know. I feel like that's something that you should have rolling on the credits for a Star Wars movie or something. Or any sort of space-oriented movie.
A cheesy old sci-fi movie, I was trying to say. Like the Star Trek version of sci-fi that's campy. This would work. Or at the end of Starship Troopers. This would be perfect.
That's the kind of song that you need at the end of Starship Troopers.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Is it old or is it new?
It's newish.
Yeah, it's a new.
It kind of falls on and off. It falls on and off the top 50 right now in the US. So, I mean, it's pretty good. I like it. Check it out.
Nice.
So Soph is still listening to BTS.
Yes.
In case anyone was wondering.
I've actually kind of switched a little bit to Big Bang this week because we had I'm just going to skirt slightly over it. I wasn't even sure whether I was going to mention it on this episode or not, but basically BTS tickets went on sale yesterday and I'm like 93% sure now that the ones I bought are not legit. So be aware, people, when you're buying tickets that there's a lot of scammers out there. And yes, so for about 3 hours I thought I was going, and then I was like, no, I'm pretty sure these are actually like fake, and I'm now going through the whole process of like getting my money back and stuff. So I played Big Bang's Loser song over like quite a lot, and kind of just consoled myself with the fact that yes, I love BTS a lot, but
they're a cheap, childish version of Big Bang. It's fine.
we're VIPs here, which
It is.
no, look, let's not start any kind of war or anything, because they're obviously not cheap, because their tickets go for like £85.
They're a childish version of Big Bang.
Well, I think we shouldn't be throwing that kind of shade around, and I think people can enjoy whatever. But yes, I had to console myself with the fact that this isn't Big Bang, and that if we're going through this with Big Bang later this year, I'm really sorry, everyone who knows
It's like
me.
saying, "Oh, I've bought a new car," and then turning up on a tricycle, isn't it? That's the difference between Big Bang and BTS.
I
Wow.
am not here for this fandom drama film.
Baby, love you.
Yes, that's G-Dragon, yes.
Yeah, exactly. He's my favourite.
No, he's not. It's literally Top who's your favourite.
Yeah, I don't know any of his songs.
Do you know Durare, Chudda, the style, Chudda?
So yeah, but they have released another date at Wembley.
Mhm.
And tickets go on sale next Friday, so there is further opportunities to get more tickets.
We shall see. We shall see. My expectations are sufficiently lowered now. So on that little tragedy, we'll leave What's Your Jam and head into the game room.
You walk into the game room and immediately take 14 damage.
Talk us through it, Phil.
Beep, boop, boop,
I have
beep,
a
boop,
nice
beep,
young
boop.
lady at work. Her name's Sophie. She likes Monopoly.
She's like me, but 10 years younger was the actual line.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
Well done.
And she likes Monopoly, and her and her boyfriend, they play a lot of Monopoly. So I've been spending a lot of time with Sophie recently because we've been doing a lot of work together, and she's been inspiring me to play Monopoly. So we played Monopoly, didn't we, Soph?
We sure did. Not any old Monopoly, though.
So, no, this is what I want to discuss first. So Monopoly, what is your most expensive square on Monopoly?
It's Boardwalk or Park Place, I think. I can't remember.
I don't remember. I haven't played Monopoly in so long.
Yeah, neither have I.
Because ours is obviously Mayfair, because we're, British.
People are going to be like, whoa, these two are British?
Yeah, I know.
What?
I
I was
know.
thinking they were Australian the whole time. Might.
But yeah, we thought, we're not going to play normal Monopoly. We'll play Game of Thrones Monopoly.
It makes it more interesting because I think that there's not a single game on this planet more boring than Monopoly, so...
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan either.
Wob wob.
And yeah, very good. Yeah, all the right places.
Okay, so the most expensive square on the board, King's Landing, Ob. And then you had like poorer places like Molestown and stuff like that. They were like the naff ones, and then kind of the semi-expensive ones were like the Twins. It's relevant. Remember the Twins. It's going to come up in a minute because Phil picked Starks and I picked Targaryens.
Targaryens.
I have issues with it.
So yeah, the chance squares are Valamugalis and the
Hydrus.
whatever the other ones are called. I can't think what the other one's called.
The Iron Throne, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think what they're called in the original board day. The Iron Throne. Very much the same as they've always been. You owe, it's your birthday, get £10.
Oh no, but it was like
Go back 3 spaces.
you want to eat every chicken in the room, stuff like this.
And yeah, so we play in, and we did a bit of... Soph wasn't getting on with it because she's not played Monopoly in like probably 15 years.
Yeah, and I played your like cheap version of it last time as well.
Well, we were playing, and we were playing with a group of people, and me and my friend decided that we were going to join create an alliance to become property tycoons.
Yeah.
So we traded between ourselves to become successful. And if he won, I won, and if I won, he won. That's just how life is. But that's by the by. So we did some trading after a while, and I made a mistake and traded the wrong property, and then started landing on Soph's properties and giving her lots of money. And then,
Which property
and then
did
she
you land
starts,
on? You kept landing on the twins as a Stark, which historically has never gone well for them. Like I was saying, I walled afraid of that situation.
So I got a little bit annoyed with that, and then I ended up, the finishing move was you had 3 villages on Westeros. No, on King's Landing.
Yeah.
And I couldn't afford to pay you, and you won.
Yeah.
So we're never playing Monopoly again.
That's most people's experience with Monopoly.
Well,
We played once. Everyone with the winner got mad, and we never played it again.
Yep. We watched Adam Ruins Everything about Monopoly and how it was actually designed as a teaching tool to show the evils of capitalism, because there's actually 2 sets of rules, but they dropped it. They dropped the not capitalist version, because you can play it one way and it shows you how like basically everyone loses except one person, and then the other set of rules shows how everybody wins.
Yeah.
Here in America, we don't all like to win. We like to have one clear, defined winner.
Yes.
And a bunch of losers.
Yes. Absolutely. If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah.
That's my mantra in life.
But I just thought that was a really interesting tidbit of information about Monopoly that I had no idea about until a couple weeks
The
ago.
rules must be floating around the internet somewhere.
I would
Oh,
imagine there's, if they still exist anywhere.
It was
you
actually
can
a
find them
woman
online.
who designed Monopoly with both of these rules and used it as a teaching tool, and then some guy took credit for it and said that he made the game, and then that's how we have
guy,
Monopoly.
Wasn't it like Milton Bradley?
So
Well, that sums up life, really, doesn't it?
there you go. I know. How about that?
So,
Not
on
to like.
that note, let's head into dinosaurs taking over the world with our main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is your main event.
It's Jurassic Park. It's Jurassic Park. It's Jurassic Park.
Those are the actual words to that
that's the
song. Not
words.
very many people know it, but that's
We had to give you the scoop.
yeah, it's true. That's the down low. That's the good info.
Sensational. Wouldn't that be amazing if all film soundtracks were like...
just the film
The name of
over and over again to the tune.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what they are.
Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
The what?
The
Are you
what?
making up your own titles now?
Oh, whoa! Whoa!
Sorcerers.
I will swim the Atlantic to prove you wrong. I don't like J.K. Rowling, but it still is from the Philosopher's Stone. So
Star Wars. Talking about Star Wars.
Who does that?
Oddly enough,
Whoa.
it's all John Williams music.
It is.
Yeah, true.
Kept that really on brand. So we're probably all familiar with Jurassic Park. It's been around for donkey's years. So what I thought I'd do is let's go around the room and everyone say their favourite Jurassic Park film just to get us started. So Phil, do you want to chime in? Which film is your favourite?
Jurassic Park.
Okay, good choice. Good choice. Any particular reason?
Because it's the best. Because it's the best.
Good reason.
Because they made the first one, they should have just left it there, shouldn't they?
Oh my god, this is where you...
No, I don't mind the second one actually that much, but yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, first one for you.
Yeah, first one for me.
Okay, Shelby, what about you? What's your favourite Jurassic Park film?
Jurassic Park.
Okay, so what? So similar reasons?
Well, it sets the baseline for it. I mean, it's not trying to take the same thing and redo it and recreate it itself. It's the magic of this idea that you can do this sort of science that everyone kind of thinks about, but, you know, it fleshes it out on the big screen. It's your first introduction to this crazy world where dinosaurs live among us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also Enos.
And what about you, Brian? What's your favorite?
Oh, definitely Jurassic Park. But I'll give you a sentimental reason other than the fact that it is the best one. I mean, come on. It's Spielberg. What do you expect? But anyway, Jurassic Park was the first movie that my brother and I saw without parent supervision in the theater.
Oh, okay.
So
I have a story like that.
Of course, we sat right up front because only kids sit up front.
That's true.
But anyway, we're front and center watching this giant dinosaur like eyeball come in this window, and we were just like mesmerized. Yeah, it was terrific. It was good fun, and it's one of those movies that if it's on TV, I'll probably stop and watch it, and that's a good telling thing about a movie, I think.
Yeah, definitely. What was your memory?
It was the first movie that my granddad took me to watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was good.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I was
What about
probably
you?
scared because I must have been quite young actually. when it
I
came
don't
out.
remember ever being scared of any of the Jurassic Park films. I must admit, I don't know if I just saw them a little bit older, but then I don't remember a time when I didn't see Jurassic Park, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me you've not seen Jurassic Park in the cinema?
No, I didn't see.
Wow.
Didn't see it in the cinema. I think.
Bummer.
I don't remember actually. I think probably the new ones were the first Jurassic Park films I saw in the cinema.
I've seen them all.
Probably. Have you?
I have.
Oh,
I'm cool like that.
Nice.
So what's your favourite, Safe?
The Lost World.
It's a good film. My particular favourite scene is when Tyrannosaurus Rex turns up.
That's actually the next question. So if you could just hold that thought, please.
It's like you have insider information or something, Bill.
I like it when she's running down the street in her high
Okay,
heels.
stop it. That's going to go into the bin of things we're not talking about on this episode.
Wait a minute. So, which one is your favorite, Jurassic World or Lost World?
Lost World.
So the second
Which is
movie, not
the second
not the
old
fourth.
one.
Oh, I
Not
thought you meant the fourth one.
No. We don't talk about that film.
Is it 'cause
We
of
are
baby,
going to talk about it actually.
It's a lot to do with the baby T-Rex in it, because it's just like the baby T-Rex is having a really bad day, but also, I don't know, okay, again, I think there's some sort of nostalgia here. It was one of those films that my brother and I used to quote to each other a lot in like everyday life. So it was things like, don't go into the long grass. We would yell that across each other, like across the garden to each other, because we just found it really funny when people were being pulled under the grass by the velociraptors. I can remember that being hysterical for us, and it's like, I
You had a
must have been at
strange
that right
childhood.
age where you're like, there's not one T-Rex, there's two T-Rexes and stuff like that. It's like, yeah. So on the high as well, we used to do that quite a lot to each other as well, where it's like, we're going high and like climb trees and stuff. So yeah, it's a similar kind of nostalgia, but I just found it to be, I love the first film, but for me, if I had to pick, it was, Lost World. I just found it, and it had the really creepy start as well, like with the killer compsognathus.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're small, but they're actually really dangerous.
Oh, like from the book.
Exactly.
Like from the book. So yeah, that's something that I'd like us to all kind of touch on as we go along on this episode, of the fact that you've been listening to the audiobook of Jurassic Park. I've read the book. Brian, you've read the book as well?
A long time ago,
Long time
yes.
ago. Yeah.
In a galaxy far, far away.
No, it was this galaxy. It was in a state far, far away from where I am right now. But
it's interesting how the opening of the book is essentially the opening of
The
Lost
second,
World.
yeah.
And it kind of, so it's very, very different. Actually, I found it a really cool experience being able to
I like the science.
love the science.
that's Michael Crichton for you, though. Like, all of his books take something that is maybe barely plausible, and he makes it happen and then sees what could happen because of that. That's his whole narrative philosophy to a T. Like, I just recently read Timeline, which I think I brought up a long time ago, but it talks about the possibility of time travel, but not as so far as time travel, but traveling to different like versions of the multiverse. So you don't actually go back in time, you just go to a different universe where their time is in a different order than ours. I don't know. It's like crazy
That
interesting.
sounds like Avengers Endgame, if you ask me.
Maybe that's where they got the idea. They were reading Michael Crichton and decided they figured it out. But yeah, anyway, the whole idea is he takes something with a scientific background. He doesn't just make up sci-fi science. He takes actual science and then sci-fi's it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this isn't really something that can happen, but it's at least 10% plausible, and then he runs with it. And it's
a kind of like how I found Dan Brown to be a little bit, where he takes something that's got some baseline, and then it was one of those books which was similar to Dan Brown's books actually, that I found myself googling a lot of the stuff of like googling chaos theory and googling I found it was, and I usually find that's quite a good sign with a book if it's making me want to reach and like
expand your horizons.
So it was it is a good read, I think.
Is it Gen Con?
InGen,
yeah.
Gen Con is the gaming convention.
Yes.
Yeah. It touches a lot more on that as well.
Yeah.
And the corruptness behind
right.
money.
The two rival companies, and exactly, the corporate greed and stuff like that. Who wants to watch a movie about that?
Yeah, and actually a lot of that's something that's quite interesting. There's the difference in how the characters, started out in page and then ended up on screen, and the most notable being that they seem to go in a very different direction with John Hammond's character.
Well, I think Alan Grant is the biggest difference.
Yeah, he was, and also Ian Malcolm, obviously, he was this tall, thin, balding man, and they were like, no, we're going to go with Jeff Goldblum for this, actually.
Well, yeah, they very much, like, it came out in the 90s, and that was a time when we still had this kind of, like, you had to Hollywood things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Alan Grant is supposed to be like a wizened old archaeologist, and instead they make him an attractive middle-aged archaeologist that is with his female version, and they're a couple now instead of being colleagues, because that's not interesting for people.
Right.
And they take the skinny bald man and turn him into the greatest actor of our age.
Yeah. Actually, Laura Dern's character was the only one that remained fairly consistent from page to screen. And the kids were the different age, weren't they? It was the other way around. The girl was younger. That threw me for a little bit as well.
I actually don't remember that. That's a detail that's been too long for me to remember.
Yeah, but I was surprised. For me, the one that felt the most different was Hammond, because he, in the book, comes across a bit douchey in the film, but more like a kind of affable old man who's just a bit of a dreamer, where in the book he's much more cynical, and it's much more about his company, and it was much more, I felt much more political, much more kind of like, let's really put a lens here under like capitalism and the greed of this sort of park, where like I said in the films he kind of came across a bit more of like a bit more of a dreamer, really.
Yeah, I think the movie Hammond is more like of a Walt Disney character.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the actual Hammond is more of a tycoon type. The actual Hammond, I say, as if the book is the actual, like, it's real.
Yeah. But yeah, so actually kind of going back to everyone's thoughts then, have we got well, Phil, since you're next to me, what would you say is a particular scene in the films that's your favourite?
A particular favourite scene?
Yeah.
T-Rex turning up.
In the first movie.
Yeah, eating the guy on the toilet.
Eating the guy in the toilet.
Yep, it's terrific.
We didn't talk about that at school for like years.
Yeah.
And every time you go to Portaloo, it's the only thing you think about, isn't
Yeah.
it? Or is it not? Well, apart from obviously the disgusting smell.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get out as quick as I can. I'm not thinking about much of anything.
It's the distraction tactic of, oh my goodness, why on earth am I weeing in a plastic box? But yeah, that scene and the cup on like the dashboard and
yeah,
and then he turns up and then
must go faster.
And then it's just so good, all of it.
Yeah. So my favourite scene is not actually from the film that's my favourite, but I like the raptors in the kitchen towards the end.
Oh yeah.
And the whole they can turn door handles. That was like the evolution of the raptors' intelligence that arguably went a little bit too far by the end. But the evolution of their intelligence, that whole them turning the handle and just all of it, I thought that was a really, really cool scene. And the whole with the kids sort of having to play around with the reflections and stuff as they were being hunted around the room, I just thought that was pretty iconic as well. And like the claw like clicking on the floor as they walked as
yeah,
well.
the little
It's just
snap,
like,
snap.
yeah, little touches like that in those films were just really, really cool.
And the part where he like calls his friend to him, and he does like,
Yes.
oh, good stuff.
Car. I don't think that's actually how it sounds.
I'm pretty sure that was exactly it. I don't know how you nailed it like that.
Car.
And what's your favourite scene, Shelby?
Gotta be when she runs away in the high heels. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually, I really like in the new Jurassic World where the sea creature gets what is it?
The smashed from the
Yeah, that thing, whatever it is, the mismatch.
Yeah, the
Dinosaur.
made up
Hybrid.
dinosaur.
Yeah, and like pulls it into the
Adonis
ocean.
Rex, that's what it is.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what it was about that scene, but it really was super satisfying.
There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah, they did do that.
When Bluey comes along and T-Rex comes along and they all take on the hybrid dinosaur.
See, I just in the new films, I think that's why they haven't like resonated with me quite as much, but because I always end up feeling really sorry for the one who's just like, it can't help how it is. They've made it to be some wacky half T-Rex, half raptor. It's lonely. It's trying to make friends with the other dinosaurs, but it doesn't know how to because it's not one of them. I feel really
Do you
bad
see
for
yourself
that.
in that poor dinosaur, Soph? Is that what it
I
is?
do a little bit.
I know what my
I think I'm
least favorite
projecting.
scene is. I don't know if you've thought about
We
that,
got it.
but
Is it the high heels and the flare?
no, it's not.
Okay.
It's the Brontosaurus like burning alive as they leave the island.
Yes,
in the
it
new
is
one.
the literal worst scene ever. I cried because it's not cool. Not cool.
The worst scene in Jurassic Park is right after the opening credits till the end credits in the newest one. That
That's
entire
pretty bad.
part is the worst scene.
It's pretty bad. But I mean, you have to admit that scene was just like
No, that was the only scene that had any sort of anything in it. Everything else about that movie was garbage. And then the only good part was the heart-wrenching part. Good job. Great movie.
I kind of enjoyed the like whole rooftop chase. I feel like something happened on roofs. I've
Yeah, it was
watched
at
that
the
one on a
end.
plane, so you never get the same kind of perspective, do you, when you're on a plane, just thinking I've still got 8 hours left of this flight. But yeah, I seem to remember the rooftop chase was kind of fun with the pulling of the tiles and stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, I like Chris Pratt. I like his character in the new films. I think he's sort of got this like modern day sort of scientist Indiana Jones vibe going on, like park ranger thing that I'm quite into. I think I quite enjoy the whole thing with Blue. Blue's pretty adorable as well. But yeah, and I did quite like so what's the first new film then?
Jurassic World.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I quite liked the whole. There is a vibe about that film of like, we have learned absolutely nothing from the past mistakes. And actually, let's just set up another theme park again because it went great the first time round. But which I found like perfectly plausible. But that's probably where it ends for me in terms of plausibility for that film. So yeah.
I actually liked the first one, the Jurassic World.
I like Jurassic World because it
to
shows...
me, it's basically a soft reboot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And, so is The Force Awakens. And I like that, so
Mm.
just kidding.
Mm.
Not really. But
Well,
anyway, the whole footwear situation aside, I thought the movie was fun. It was watchable. It had some good scenes. The second one, though, I don't even
good.
like to think about it.
I liked that the first Jurassic World basically is showing, like you said, Soph, that these people haven't learned anything.
Mhm.
And, I mean, that is commentary in and of itself saying...
Well, and not only
we are
have they
doomed to
learned
always,
anything,
we have to have lessons relearned all the time.
they like doubled down on what they did wrong before.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
things got out of hand when they made Velociraptors and T-Rex, so let's mix them together. This should be fine.
Yeah. I feel like that's a definite message across like the entire franchise, which is that humans trying to control nature and this whole kind of science versus ethics. And it goes back to that line, doesn't it, from Ian Malcolm's, where he's like, which I love, and I think it continually applies to every film that they make here, which is, you were so busy, what was it? You were so busy thinking whether you could that you didn't stop to think whether you should. And it's like, really, we're looking at this going, they really shouldn't have brought back dinosaurs. And then, like you say, they then thought, well, let's go one better. Let's try and, so the dinosaurs didn't work last time, so let's make it into what we want it to be. Let's force this dinosaur into a bigger, meaner, nastier, scarier, because that's what they were essentially doing. They were then trying to think, oh, do T-Rexes not shock people anymore? What's the more shocking thing we can do? Well, let's let it have bigger teeth. So are there any other, like, themes that you guys picked up on throughout this franchise? Like I said, are kind of touching upon this, like, science versus ethics thing. Is there anything else anyone picked up on throughout?
I think Malcolm is basically like the voice of reason throughout the early films and like carrying on into the new ones. But like, you know, with a line that, like you said, and the whole life finds a way, like you can't engineer the nature's ability to solve its own problems. And it's just, playing God, all that kind of stuff, just in a very neat dinosaur case. If that makes sense.
It does. So what do you think? Obviously they've brought these new films in. What do you think it is that's made this such a, like, enduring IP, such an appealing IP that we keep sort of going back to dinosaurs? Like, is it just the dinosaur thing? Do we just find that really fun because it's something that we almost can't imagine? Because, like, I can't imagine things that big walking on the earth. And I don't know, is that what makes this IP so appealing?
Yes, absolutely. It's the dinosaurs. People go to, like, I was disappointed in the second Jurassic World. Absolutely disappointed. But I got to see some dinosaurs wreck stuff and fight each other, and that was fun.
Yeah.
If there's another one, I'll go see it and put my money to it because I like to see dinosaurs wreck stuff and fight each other.
I want to go see the dinosaurs play craps in Vegas.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure that's where it's going.
Yeah.
like I said, the story can be subpar, and I still like watching big CGI dinosaurs just go to work.
And the story really was subpar in that movie.
It was. And, you know, we have a friend that always talks about how Jurassic World Park, what it lacks is it can't world build. It's like, oh, guess what? Again, the dinosaurs escape, and they have to contain them again because they're killing people. It's like, that's the story of every single Jurassic World Park, but I don't really care. I still like watching big dinosaurs do stuff.
Well, yeah, and see, that was a kind of interesting thing about the most recent film and how it ended, is that has now opened it up to kind of uncharted territory, really, that we're not now contained to an island, and they could pick this up in a few years when we're trying to coexist, or, you know, are
it's
we...
like a Land of the Lost situation, except it's on Earth instead of this weird...
Apex. Yeah, we're not the apex predators anymore. Or, you know, like, is it going to be we're trying to exist and it's like, oh, darn it, there's a stegosaurus in the back garden kind of thing. Or is it going to be more wild than that? Are dinosaurs really going to be pushing humans to the brink? So,
like a zombie movie.
Yeah, like a kind of...
that's what... I have a feeling that's what they're going to go. It's going to be like a quasi-post-apocalyptic, humans are on the run because dinosaurs are eating us,
bigger than us,
type thing.
Yeah,
we're cavemen.
Well,
go
exactly.
back to being cavemen and then have to redevelop everything.
Yeah. So
And then at the very end of that movie, there'll be a mad scientist who's found some amber, and then it'll be injected to get out.
Or he's found the amber that's bitten a human because he's the last human, and he's like, I can bring back humans.
Exactly.
And then this like raptor's like,
It'll be Human Park.
Just get more and more absurd.
Or they'll just be like anthropomorphized dinosaurs that bring back humans. And they put them in a park, and then there's a bunch of raptors in nice clothes walking around.
Oh my gosh. I did read somewhere, I don't even know, it might even come from these films, of that if it weren't for the meteor, that raptors would be the dominant species on the planet. It might have been from these films. I lose track, to be honest, but they're so like ingrained now that I can't tell truth from fiction anymore.
Oh, well.
Yeah. To wrap this episode up then, I would just like to go around the room and ask each of you what was one of my most favourite questions when it comes to Jurassic Park, which is, could Jurassic Park happen one day? Because I don't know about you guys, but I find the science behind it really, really believable. And it's a bit like The Matrix, where it's like if they hit too close and then they had to kind of undo it because it was too, it's too like, actually this could happen. So, well, let's go to Shelby first, since you're our...
oh my god.
You're our resident
engineer.
Could Jurassic Park happen one day, do you think?
I don't know.
Well, obviously.
I mean, obviously. I don't know, no. Because there's so many times that you hear that archaeologists got things wrong as far as which bones were supposed to go together and what some of these dinosaurs really looked like. But, I mean, DNA doesn't lie. Can they replicate things? Maybe. I mean, they've done that with sheep. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I think it's potentially possible. As far as preservation of the DNA.
There's that company now that can, like, give you your cloned dog or cat.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. But, yeah, so, I think it's possible.
Yeah, cloning technology, at least, has come a long way since Dolly.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, man. Does DNA really stay preserved in amber? That's the real question. Like, could they pull it from bones? I don't know. I'm not a genetic scientist.
I think there's possibility that it could be frozen somewhere.
That's what I was just going to say, because haven't they found that woolly mammoth that was...
Yeah, like, that still had meat on it.
Yeah. So if you start
which
going
is just
under
creepy.
The ice, yes. But yeah, so maybe that's the thing. If they start finding them under the ice that are going to be slightly better preserved.
Well, I mean, with climate change, they'll probably start
melting, showing
up, like floating down into the harbors and places and stuff. So who knows?
Wash up on the beach.
That'd make for an interesting story.
Yeah. Mommy, what's this really big fish? What about you, Phil? Do you think Jurassic Park could happen one day?
I think it could happen, but it won't, because we've seen the movie and we know it all ends badly.
Yeah. Are you kidding? The scientists would look at that movie and be like, look how much money this fake movie made. Imagine if we really did this. We'd be trillionaires.
And then we'll all end up in Jurassic Park.
Yep.
No, I think it happened because people are greedy and money will make things happen that are less than ethical.
Science does tend to win over ethics, doesn't it?
I think we're ruining the planet, and one day we're all going to have to move to Mars. So we need to be investing our money in building planets or building houses on Mars, and we should not be too worried about bringing the dinosaurs back.
Yeah, but we're naturally curious people, aren't we? And like I said,
we should all practice by playing Terraforming Mars. There was no need to clone a sheep.
There's loads of sheep. Literally just down the end of the road, there's a whole bunch of them. We didn't need more, but they cloned it because they could. So it's not necessarily...
You tell me that in 15 years' time, when half the world's underwater because the ice caps are melted and it's 1,000,000 degrees.
And we're all holding on to sheep to stay afloat.
Exactly.
You'll be really glad
sheep were the linchpin all along.
I just don't think there is the money that will go around to mean that it will ever happen.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's possible, definitely. Yeah. I saw the movie.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It was really convincing.
Yeah. Just put a needle in some amber, suck some juice out, put it into an egg, dinosaur.
Has anyone disproved that theory yet?
Exactly. You obviously watched this Flat Earth documentary without me knowing. Because that's how science works.
So, yeah, we think Jurassic Park is a strong maybe that could happen here on Pods and Ends. So I think that brings the episode nicely to a close. Thank you so much for listening, as always. If you've got any thoughts on the Jurassic Park franchise as a whole, or if you're a scientist and can actually tell us whether it can happen or not.
Yeah, honestly, please.
Also,
please do so.
Geneticist, come hit us up. I'm sure we've got
actually, it's just not possible because this is a movie.
I reckon the bulk of our listeners are actually genetic scientists. So
yeah,
at least 75%.
Yeah,
yeah. We have 4, and 3 of them are probably geneticists.
Yeah. So, guys, where can people find the pod?
You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at PNE_pod.
You can email us at contact@podsandends.com.
And check out our website, podsandends.com.
Do it.
Talk to you later.
Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.